Hello, everybody, and welcome to today's guests. I have two today, very special guests, and it is Nicole Miller and Melissa Ashcraft, who is here with me today. And you have something special to share with us. Please tell us a little about it.
Hi, yes, so I am Nicole Miller, and so my partner Melissa Ashcraft and I, we developed a CBD product for horses called Bon Cheval. So we use um, a really unique formula of the CBD. It is dosed for horses, and it's all human grade products that we use. We give them either a sugar cube or a low sugar supplement. We use 24 carats horse treats. So there's no molasses, no added sugar. It's all full of good, healthy stuff for your horse. We put the CBD in there, and you feed that to them twice a day. Or we have some topical products as well. So we've seen
Sounds
some really
great.
good results. Yeah.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah.
And I have heard that CBD are very working very well on horses.
Yeah, for sure it does. We've seen it work with lameness issues, with anxiety, stress. We've seen it work for a lot of different things. Melissa owns a training barn, so we're able to kind of have horses that have various issues, either between the boarding horses that are older or the training horses that come in with sometimes some trauma or some anxiety. Um, and then so we're able to give it to them and have them kind of calm down, and she's able to work with them a little bit easier.
Mhm. Is it also giving a better health all over? Uh,
Yeah, yeah. So the way CBD works is we have CBD receptors all over our body, and the horses also have CBD receptors all over their body. So the CBD kind of attaches to those areas, and has the pain relief or calming effects on kind of wherever they need it to be.
mhm. So you use it as oil, or they eat it, or how
So
it?
we have both. So we have an oil-based tincture that we put on sugar cubes, and that will we give that to them twice a day,
Mhm.
once in the morning, once in the evening, because it lasts about 12 hours. We give that to them, and they're able to um, take that. It works within about 15 minutes to a half hour. Or we have a water soluble, which is a little bit more potent. It's what they call just basically more, has more bioavailability. So more of the CBD is going to get into their system with the water soluble. So that actually goes through the digestive system and is absorbed through the intestines that way. And so they get much more of that dose in their system. And so that's with the low sugar treats. Or we have a topical spray that is very useful for the stifle or soreness in the back, kind of for large areas. And then we have a salve that we can use on either sores or smaller muscle areas or um, joints. It's a little bit that's um, more effective in those smaller local areas.
Mhm. So you just give it when they have an issue. You don't have to give them it all the time, or
Yeah, it depends. It's completely up to you and what you feel your horse needs. If you feel your horse needs to take it on a daily basis, we have that, or you
Mhm.
can give it as needed.
For the training stuff, I usually, because that's kind of what helped us start it was I get a lot of really naughty horses in. And then we noticed that some of the clients were using it and it really works. So for the training horses, I usually tell people to put them on it for at least 2 to 3 months. So that way, you actually get them to calm down, get them to relax so that you have a working partner that you can actually talk to. Some horses do come in with so much trauma and baggage that they're just a nervous wreck and you can't really even have a conversation with them So
Okay.
that way you can calm them down. So I prefer 3 months, and it's the same thing with training, is, that first month to kind of get them started with it. Second month, you can get them comfortable with it. And that third month, they're a little bit more like on a track to where they know this is what I'm expected to do in my training. They're calmer, everything else. After that third month, take them off. You'll know. I mean, we've had horses that their owners like literally knew the next day. There's one horse that my crew actually like begged us the next day, like, please make sure Rebecca puts her horse back on it. I can't even walk him out to the field, So you'll know within a couple of days if you need to put him back on it or not.
Mhm. That's fantastic. So
It's the
how
same thing with the inflammation. If you can get the inflammation down, then you might be able to take them off if they don't need to stay on it forever.
Mhm. It also for inflammation.
Yeah.
Okay, that's great. How is it with uh, doping? I know that in Sweden, for instance, they are very, very specific with doping. You can't give them the horse these products before going on a competition or something like that. How is that with these things?
Yeah, so unfortunately, it is illegal to use. You're going to be in a sanctioned show. It's not show legal.
Okay.
But we are working on products to hopefully help different products that we can use that would be show legal.
Mhm.
And it's not that there's anything bad in the CBD, because that is
Oh,
something that we hear often, that some people say like, oh, are they going to get high off it?
yeah, I
CBD,
know.
CBD is not the same thing as THC. It's
No.
completely different. So your horse doesn't get high or doped up from it. Like Nicole said, it's the CBD is working with natural cannabis that's in your body. So it's not the same. It's not the same thing. We do hear that a lot.
No.
And when I've talked to people about testing the CBD for horses in competition, they always kind of say it's not that there's anything wrong with it. It's just that it's such a new product that they don't really have um, ways to test, just around it. So that is something that they're working on as well. But Nicole and I have something up our sleeves that we're testing out right now on 5 of my training courses. It's completely all natural as well, that you will be able to give your competition horses. So hopefully that'll be coming out soon. We love the product now. We're just making sure that I try it on all these different ones to see if it's gonna
Yeah.
work in the different dosages and stuff like
Yeah,
that. So
we're refining it right
yes.
now.
Yeah.
So
I know it's so difficult with this doping because you can give a horse a banana and it would show in doping. So
Yeah,
it's difficult to find
it is.
an easy
now,
way.
one thing that I do tell my clients all the time, because I do have a lot of, I mean, we take horses to like Frisian Worlds and, the USTF regionals and everything like that. So I do tell a lot of my clients when they say like, oh yeah, well, I won't be able to compete with it. But then you look over at their horse and they're breathing fire and they're terrified to get on it, like full football outfits to get on the horse. It's like you have a long way until you're ready to compete. Um, so even competition barns really do have a need for this product, because this is a competition barn and there's a lot of them that I'm working up that it's going to be a minute. You only need to be off it for like 2 to 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I'd say 3 weeks tops. Um, and it won't be in the system anymore. So you get them all the way up until show season, and then you take them off at 2, 3 weeks in advance, and you're fine. But then, competition barns as well say like, oh, I don't need it. I don't need that. Everybody has an old horse that has done their job and needs comfort. Now it's our time to take care of them after. So CBD is a fantastic product for that. I call it the duct tape of the horse world, because it really does fix everything. And that's kind of what helped us start it as well. As I was looking at my clients like Smart Pack, and it's like, I'm not kidding, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, it's like, and everything that they're paying all of this crazy money for, the CBD, one little treat will work and fix that. So we've had amazing, progress and results with the products. So, and all of our products are made just for us. So we have been blessed enough to have, my barn's about 50 horses that we've been testing for, a couple of years now. But then we work with the veterinarians and chemists that have helped us evolve our products, just our products. So a veterinarian has worked on the salve and the tincture sprays, and we've worked closely with chemists to work on the dosage. Most of the dosages out there on the market, we found that they're not dosing correctly. When I first started using CBD, I was using 750 milligrams. And when we went to, and I noticed some result, but when we went to the chemist, they kind of laughed and said, "Oh, honey, it's not right." 750 is for people. And that's what a lot of people, what a lot of the products, if you're looking at, that's what they're using. Ours is 6,000 milligrams. So a big difference and I think there's only one other, that I've found, one other product out there that's actually using that much. And Nicole has done a lot of research. She's the smart one. That there's actually studies in universities that are giving way, way, way more than that. So for what it's worth.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah, because you never know with horses, because sometimes they don't need that much, and sometimes they need a lot.
Yeah,
So that's a good thing.
Yeah. I have a Frisian stallion that's on a couple Frisian stallions that's on 50 milligrams. And he has a disease that goes through Frisians, that basically where their fetlocks are dropped. And he's in a lot of pain. He's actually one of the horse behind me. It's Prodigy, one of my famous partners. He's on 50 milligrams, and then we have a wiry little Arabian that's on and Andalusian, that's on 100 milligrams, and man, they need it. So you're correct. It doesn't really matter about the breed or anything else. It's just how they react to it. So we usually start off at 50 milligrams and start working up from there.
Yeah, so we have a few different dosing strengths. Sorry, I couldn't think of the word. Dosing strengths that we work with. Yeah.
How is it with pregnant mare? Can they have it?
So there's not a lot of research available, but from what I've seen, they haven't found any like negative effects, but there's just not a huge sample size. They haven't done a very widespread study, so there's not a lot of information. But we always say refer to your veterinarian. Ask them. They're going to know your horse. They're going to know its history. And they might have their own, anecdotal evidence or anything that they could go back on. But I haven't found any studies that have shown any negative effects.
We do actually have our first pregnant mare on it now. One of our clients has kind of a high-strung, worrisome horse that she was worried that was going to lose the baby because she's so high-strung and nervous. So for her, it was let's just try it, because if not, she might end up losing it anyway. So we actually have our first pregnant mare on it now.
Yeah.
Exciting to see how it goes. And I can imagine it must be much easier for the mare if she's so anxious to get this and have a calm relation to herself.
And not be so stressed out and
But like Nicole said, we do always strongly suggest that you talk to a veterinarian about anything off like that. We have had great results with Cushing's horses. We've had 3 horses that had pretty severe Cushing's that we've had amazing results with. She just reminded me of one horse that we have that his name is Skip, and he's older than dirt. I don't know how old he is, but he's a boarder of mine. And she just reminded me, and like we both got tears in our eyes because we're so passionate about why we do this. We don't do it for the money, even though that's always nice. We do it for the horses, because I don't care what anybody thinks about it, whatever. But the horses see a huge result. But Skip, for instance, we were walking and walk from, he goes into my arena at nighttime because when he lays down in the stall, he can't get back up. So he and his two best friends have taken over my indoor arena for the past 3 years. Every night,
Yeah.
they take a presidency and just have a little party. But we were watching him walk to the indoor, and she reminded me that, oh my gosh, do you remember it used to take him it used to literally take him 5 minutes to walk down the hallway.
Yeah.
And it was one step at a time. It was slow. They let him go, and he is burning and turning and like these little half bucks and like running around, and it's like he's acting like
Wow.
a bull. And I see him every day. I completely forgot that, oh yeah,
Yeah.
he was that bad,
Yeah,
So
he's my poster child. Like everybody that asks me about it, I'm like, it's just to see the difference and how it, it wasn't months, it was a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
He was back to like acting like he was in his teens. And just to see him not be in so much pain and have that life back in him is just, it's so special because he's a special guy. All of the horses that we have come through here, we love them like they're our own, so we want to do what's best for them.
Skip alone, there's been 5 separate times within the past 2-3 years that at least 5, maybe 6, that we're out there, 1, 2 in the morning with trying to lift him to get him up out of the stalls, or 5 in the morning trying to lift him up with equipment and everything. Because once you can get him up, he's fine. So it's not like, he doesn't need to be put down. It just every once in a while, he just get to a point where he can't get up today. So ever since we started him on the CBD, there's not been one time, and he's been on it for about 2 years now. And I have not had to go out there with the crew and lift him or help him at all.
Wow.
He's up and ready. That's just one success story, but
A living proof.
literally living proof.
Yes.
Because the vet told us about 3 years ago to just put him down. And then that's when I was able to talk to my client and to just try the CBD. You have nothing to lose, just try. And he's been fine ever since. So.
And then Melissa's heart horse, her baby, she was having seizures, and we put her on the CBD, and she hasn't had a seizure since she's been on the CBD.
Yeah, my paint mare, one of my big performance horses, has had about 3 seizures that I know of. She hasn't had any. And then 2 of my main performance horses, Invictus, my Liberty horse, which is my gray Andalusian, he has stifle issues, and he's starting to show up lame. And then, as I mentioned, Prodigy, where his fetlocks have dropped. And it got to a point where Prodigy was standing out there in the field, and he was just in so much pain. And we both cried because Invictus and Prodigy had over a year off. Like they're all 3 of those are my babies, like my main horses are all on the CBD. I'm teary-eyed talking about it. But we put him out in the indoor arena, and to see Prodigy running and full of life, and he's not lame, to the point where he was like a month earlier standing in the field, and he always had his foot up. Like we both just bawled like babies. Like all his owners, like, oh, it's back.
Yeah.
So yeah, even if we didn't sell it, we would still put our horses on it, and that's why we started it. Was for Prodigy. But actually, Prodigy, why we originally started him on it, is because he was so naughty. He's the only horse that I knew before I got him. He was kicked out of 9 separate trainers, and I'm talking about like professional, really good trainers, because he was just, his personality was everywhere. He was extremely out of control. So he's been good for me for years and years and years, for us to be able to perform, all over the United States, big shows with them. But the crew would always still kind of have a little bit of an issue. He knows who he can mess with and push around. So we originally put him on it for behavioral issues. And we got him to where the crew can handle him. Everybody now thinks he's like a big puppy dog, which he is, but still. So we actually took him off it for a while, almost 6 months. We took him off it, and he was a perfect citizen, because again, we got him controllable, handleable. And then we noticed he went lame, so we put him on that. So
Yeah, that is my thought. Just this, do you have to give them it all the time, or it's healing the issues?
Well, I mean, I even have first results or like first-hand results with one of our products. Our biggest product seller is actually our salve, and we're obsessed with it.
Yeah.
But it's mostly the riders that are buying it for themselves. Um, I mean, we every event we go to, we sell out because we just put just literally a little bit on your finger until you put it anywhere that you hurt. So we've got some success stories with that. When we were coming out with it, I had hurt my sciatic nerve to where I pulled myself off of horses for almost 2 months. And her dad, which is our partner, kept saying, put that salve on it. Put that
Yeah.
salve on it. Like, oh, yeah. Put the salve on it. I was able to ride the next day, and I haven't had any like issues where I couldn't ride with it before. Because what it is the CBDs actually, and when I talked to him about it, like I know that we're selling the product, but I was actually honestly kind of shocked, like, well, this really works. And he said that, as well. And he said, well, the Bengay and everything that you're putting on, it's just gonna take you out of instant pain. He said, but the CBD is actually going to, while it takes you out of the pain, it's actually going to heal the inflammation so that it's going to heal it. So you're not going to be. So we've got 2 other success stories that are kind of cute. One of them is from one of my veterinarians that, I've known him since I was 18, and he is walking around like John Wayne, like all broken. And I kept saying, just please. He's like a father to me. He's like, please, you look so sore. And I kept trying to send him home with these samples.
Yeah.
So he's very exuberant when he tells stories. So he said that he went home that night and he put it up and he's working at his counter and he said, oh man, my back hurts. And he said he looked up at the little sample that I gave him and he's like, all right, I promised her I will. So he said he takes a little bit and he puts it on his back and he goes back to working. And he said about 5 minutes later, he says, my back doesn't hurt anymore. And he goes back to work. He's like, I don't hurt anymore. And he said, I take it and put it all over my whole body. Since then, he has honestly been back to buy at least 10 to 12 of our big jars. And he sends them to all of his friends. Like he believes in it that much. And my last favorite story about the salve is one of my clients' horses was in training and her husband had just had knee surgery, the second knee surgery he had on the other knee. But I saw him and he just kept rubbing it and rubbing it. And I was like, please just try to buy it. Just take a sample. He put on a little sample. He liked it so much he bought it. Because you literally within 5 minutes, you feel like you can
Wow.
move. It's amazing. So he bought a big thing of it. And I guess he went to his doctors and his doctors kept asking him over and over again, what did you use? What did you use? And he said, my wife's horse trainer. He said, I don't know. My wife's horse trainer told me to buy this stuff and I did. They said that it healed up his recovery time by 2 weeks. And they wanted to know what he was on so that they could tell all of their other clients about it because of recovery time 2 weeks sooner. So that was like a huge, like, oh, look at what we did, so.
Yeah, and it's always when you feel it on your own body, you can maybe see that the horses is getting better, but when you have felt it yourself, you think, wow, this is huge.
And that's part of the reason we tell people to use it on themselves. Is we're like, just try it. If you got something that hurts, see how it works for you, and then they use it on their horse. It's like, oh, what, it worked for me. So
Yeah, that sounds great. How about when you have been on a long riding and you come back the day after?
Yeah. Well, so for those, you've got the internal CBD that's supposed to just going to keep you out of getting sore in the first place. But for like she was saying, we've got the spray that covers long distances. So if you go on a trail ride or something, you can spray it on yourself, spray it on your horse, rub it in and walk away, so.
Yeah, that's great. How long time have you been doing this?
We launched a year ago in September. We were working on it prior to that. We've been working on it for a little over 2 years. But we, started actually selling products last September. And since then it's just grown and grown and grown. And so it's been really really cool to see like such a labor of love, you know, and have other people that, you know, like it and use it, and you know, we get all this feedback, and so it's really nice to, you know, because we know it works, but then to have other people, you know, reiterate that and let us, you know, keep coming back for more and more, you know, it, you know, makes us feel like, you know, we're doing something worthwhile.
Mm. How are you selling it? Do you have a store or you use MLM or how do you
So
do it?
yeah, so we have an online shop. It's
Yeah.
boncheval.net. So you can go there. There's all the information about us. We have some some celebrity type ambassadors that kind of go out that we sponsor. Um, you know, and they're all people that have used our product and really like it. And so, you know, we're like, you know, if you like it, you know, here, just, you know, tell other people about it, you know, because, you know, if you hear it from your trainer, you know, you're more likely to use it than,
Mm.
you know, from some random person, since there are so many different products out there, you
Yes.
know. So when you have that firsthand, yeah, experience, and then we also do, we have some local people that uh, they go to different shows. We have actually a couple people in Scotland too that help our products, and then we have a writer in the Netherlands as well. So we try to get um, out as much as we can, and but yeah, so the website is the best place to purchase the items.
Yeah, and what is the website? You can
It's
say it here.
yeah, no, it's boncheval.net. So it's BONCHEVAL and then .net. So that's where you can buy all the products.
And you can find us on Facebook as well. Nicole just started the TikTok that we've got
Yeah,
to
we're
start building up. And then we go to we started going to some large events like Equine Affair, Road of the Horse.
mhm.
We had a booth at Road of the Horse last year, and then two of our celebrity ambassadors will be at Road of the Horse this year, Donald Hancock and Brandy Lyons. They'll both be competing in it. So you'll see us there as well.
Yes.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Yeah, because you have heard about CBD and I also have talked to another about this, but sometimes I know it from myself when I've sold supplements for many years ago. They were also very good for horses, but people don't want to buy for humans and put it on horses. They want
Yeah.
to see that it's actually are for the horses.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I can
Yeah.
imagine that it's popular.
But
Yeah.
especially for the dosage. And one thing that I do tell people is because I did try, several CBD products before we built our own. And you hear people say that a lot, like, oh, I've tried CBD or I've tried this, it didn't work. You really want to make sure you try, different companies, because like I said, this CBD was made, we're the only ones that have, this ingredients basically. So some of them, what I've learned is I started another company in the past, and then left and moved over to this one. The quality of products, just because I've worked with her father and all of these chemists and everything, has grown like so much, because we didn't know, you know what I mean? So I've partnered with with professionals that really know the CBD and the industry and everything else. So like, we weren't giving water soluble before, and all the products worked, but just not as well as when we moved to water soluble. It hits the system quicker, it's a lot stronger. So boom, even though we were giving the same dosage as before to now, the strength from just the regular CBD to the water soluble is just like 95% better. So I do tell people, make sure that you don't just think, oh, I tried CBD, because again, they could be giving 750 milligrams. Ours is 6,000 milligrams. So especially with this product, since it is so new, a lot of people are doing different things, you know.
Yes.
So even if you tried it before, try ours, because we've, as I mentioned before, worked really hard and closely with vets and chemists to make sure that ours is, I believe, the best on the market, you know. So,
Yeah.
and I've tried a lot. So,
Yeah, because
Yeah.
when you have like the I talk about the bioavailability, when you have like the oil and it goes into the mucosal membranes in the mouth. So that's how they get the CBD. They're only absorbing about 40% of that. So you think that you're giving them, you know, a higher dose, but in reality they might only be getting half of that dose or less than half of that dose. So when you go the water soluble route and have them, it actually goes into their digestive tract and absorbed through the intestines, they're going to get about 85 to 90% of that dose. So that's why it's a little bit better. And we do sell, like I said, the oil based we use on our sugar cubes. And we sell the tincture by itself as well. Like if you want to save a little bit of money and make your own sugar cubes. But we do sell it, and we do have really good results with it. But you know, some people don't want to give their horse treats, you know, with or a lot
Oh.
of sugar, you know, because I mean that you have to give by hand, because we want you to wait about 15 minutes before you give them any other food or water, just so that it has that time to absorb in their mouth.
Yeah.
And then with the water soluble, you can just throw it in their feed pan. You know, you don't have to give them that treat, you know, from your hand and make them a little bit mouthy. I know some people fear that, especially, um, you know, some that have younger horses or, you know, things like that, and stallions. So, you know, this way with the water soluble, you just kind of toss it in their feed pan. They're, you know, it's just a little something extra in there for them. They're not learning to get that out of your hand.
Yeah. How is it? Is it allowed to be sold all over the world, or is it just in some
Yeah. So,
countries?
yeah, so right now we do ship internationally. So Scotland and UK, and then we're working on Ireland as well. So those for sure. But we're willing to ship anywhere. We just have to check with the local laws, and make sure that we can ship it there. So, you know, if anybody has any questions, they can reach out to us on the website too, or Facebook, if they're from a different country, and we can check into it and see. I very rarely found a place that I can't ship to. It's just shipping internationally, you know, it can be a little bit pricier. But yeah, we're willing to do, you know, we'll work with whatever we can.
Yeah, because I know that with supplements, there's some rules. Some countries have different rules, and it's not
Yeah.
always you can send
yeah.
it everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, and especially if you do have any of your podcasters out there that have a store or just have a big following that they would like to carry it, that kind of does make it a little bit easier. Especially if they're in a different country, then we can send it to them. They can put it in their store, and then they can kind of be the distributor of it all. So you know, we're always open for stuff
You're
like that as well.
open to
Where it's like big
cooperate.
barn, you know, we do have barn pack deals to where I think it's like 4 or 5 or more. Then we have deals. So if you're a trainer or a barn owner, I also tell like veterinarians and farriers, you know, because they're the ones that have to work hand on hand with these horses for, you know, medical stuff, but then even just like a farrier or vet trying to get under there and work on their shoes, and they're hot. So we do have some farriers and vets that put their clients on it just for those reasons.
Yes.
So we're always open to kind of work out ways to distribute it different places, since it is such a new company. I'm shocked though with how well we've taken off. I've had a lot of my celebrity ambassador friends jump on board, and they love the product, so they're telling other people about it and everything else.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty happy with
Yeah.
how well it's going. It's one of those that the product, you know, the product speaks for itself. So people keep coming back for more just because the product has worked and they've gotten such good results for it.
That is what we wish.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the greatest thing when people get a lot of effort out of it and come back and once more.
Yeah, and we really try to make it affordable, because we know we're horse people, we get it, supplements can get expensive,
Yes.
and we want the best for a horse. So that's what we've really worked on, just trying to make it as affordable as possible. And so we're one of the lesser expensive products. And we do that on purpose. We don't do it because we don't have a good product. We do it because we want people to be able to afford it. Um, we offer like a subscription service. So that way you can sign up for it and get it shipped to your house or your barn every month. And we take 10% off the price if you sign up for that. So you're saving basically your shipping costs. You basically get shipping for free, a little more. So we try to stay right around $100 ish, a month, which, as horse people know, that's absolutely nothing, for your horses. We spend that like
No,
There's
just
one CBD company that is $175 a month. It's like, oh my goodness, I
Yeah.
can dose two of my horse. Yeah, $175, $180 a month is some CBD companies. But Nicole mentioned, like, we really try to make sure we're always sticking up for the horse people. Like, well, because I always look at for myself, it's like, could I afford that? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? If I needed 3 of my horses on it, could I afford that? So that's why we do offer it still in the tincture as well, because it's cheaper. You can get 1 or 2 horses off of 1 bottle for the month, just depending on how you dose them. 50 milligrams, you get 2 horses off of 1 bottle. That's great, because now, especially like she said, the water soluble, you can just literally take it and put it in your feed, but now it's way more affordable than if you're buying, the treats and everything else. So we're always willing to try to work out something.
Because we know how it is.
Yes.
yeah. But people have always money for their horses, I think.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah, my horse see the massage and the
Right.
dentist and the chiropractor, and I
Yes.
don't.
It's like, I wish I had had all that. Like, because we love them. We'll do anything for them.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing
Yeah.
this with us.
Yeah, of course.
And I
Thank
hope
you so much for having us on here.
Yeah,
you get a lot of customers.
Yeah.
Also, as you said, for the horses' sake, and
Yeah.
for older horses and maybe horses that you have had for a long time and they are not very
Right.
healthy and just help them a little.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing that I also love about this company is, her dad and he's a doctor, Dr. Steve. They own a business called Très Bien, and this one's not all for horses. Like the Très Bien, they sell everything from stuff for people, cats, and dogs. So and they're linked together, obviously. So it doesn't just have to be for your horse. If your dog is sore, your cat is sore, you're sore, you just need help, then we would send you to our partner company, Très Bien, and you can get the whole barn all worked out. Everybody's walking good and feeling good. We're all good.
Yeah.
Dream
So yeah,
scenario.
yeah,
Yes.
exactly. So people, cats, horses, dogs, we got you covered.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for being here today. It has been
Thank
a
you.
pleasure and nice to meet you both. And thank you for seeing this podcast, all of you out there. And I hope you want to subscribe so we can carry on and have a new guest next week. Thank you very much for today. And thank you, you too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.